Shapiro. Bryan will talk sports, politics, entertainment, and anything that matters to you. Feel free to call Bryan at 702-221-7283.
You want answers? I want the truth!
Now pushing the limits, here's Bryan Shapiro.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I'm in a really good mood today for a lot of different reasons. Hello, everybody watching live on YouTube and all other forms of social media, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch. We're all over the place. And, of course, on the FM and AM dial. I'm in a really good mood today because, well, I'm always in a good mood when we're here at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club Topless Pool, topless being optional. I'm not topless. Nobody wants to see that. But I'm here, of course, with co-host Guy David, and we have some very, very special guests throughout the next 2 hours that are going to be joining us. Come on by, say hello, by the way. They've got some great drinks here. This watermelon drink, whatever it is absolutely delicious.
It's a watermelon margarita.
Yes, it is. The food is coming by. We ordered some pizza. The food here is great. The staff is great. And I heard that they are going to be packed here this afternoon. So come on out early and say hello. We're broadcasting here for the next 2 hours, as we do every other Friday throughout the pool season. It's very special guests we have the next 2 hours. Former UNLV legend and NBA veteran Marcus Banks is going to be right here joining us, talking a little NBA Summer League. My very good friend and the king anchor of Channel 3 Sports, Bryan Salmond, is going to be joining us a little bit later in the program as well. And another good friend of mine, Bryan Salmond from Jackson's Bar and Grill. He's a mega Vegas Golden Knights fan, so we're going to talk a little Vegas Golden Knights.
It's going to be a good show, and I'd just like to say I'm glad you're in a good mood, because if you weren't in a good mood, I'd be questioning your mental capacity. How can you not be in a good mood when you're here? There's misters on you, there's good food, there's drinks, there's beautiful people. We've got a great show, we've got a great guest list, and I'm sitting back in a freaking cabana, and anyone can come join.
I'm a very bitchy person. I'm usually
so nice.
Yeah, I'm usually very moody, as our next guest, I'm sure, will be able to attest to that. The lovely lady joining us here.
You're only moody when you deal with MAGAs.
That's true. Rhonda's not a MAGA. I don't think
we don't know yet.
I don't know. I'll ask her.
America always should be great.
We'll find out pretty quick.
The lovely lady sitting in with us today, I'm so glad she's here. Rhonda Kennedy, running for Senate. Hey, in my opinion, anybody who's willing to come to Sapphire at the Topless Pool and talk politics is good in my book. Rhonda is running for senator against some people that I am not very fond of. One of them initials is SP. I wonder who that could be. But anyway, Rhonda, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Coming out. This is a little different atmosphere than the KSHB studios. These are my studios today.
Right, yeah. And I have to stop and stay still because the beat's popping right now.
There are a lot of good beats that are popping right now. Some that are probably breaking FCC violations. But, all right, I really don't want to get too much into politics with you, Rhonda. But since you're here.
She's got an election to win.
It seems to me, and this is a generalization that I'm going to make, that a lot of Republicans are not into the strip clubs. They're not into porn. They just don't really, it doesn't feel like they want to have a good time. Am I wrong? I feel like a lot of middle-aged Republicans, not yourself, are stiffs. They're against the porn industry. They're against having a good time. And liberals and Democrats are like, let it all hang out. Let's all have a good time. Let's go to the nude beach.
Well, adults only.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's not talk about it in schools and let's not bring your kids to the strip club day. But it's like it's a First Amendment issue. I mean, we've already had the Supreme Court ruled, with Flint. But I'm for to each his own. I mean, I'm here. I mean, I don't have to go topless, but
you don't have to. You can if you want to.
I know, but I don't.
That might help. It might help your candidacy. I'm just saying.
She's on her first drink. We'll wait to a few more.
Yeah.
I just picture someone like that looks like Mike Pence.
Rhonda,
that's the Republican I see that won't come here.
Rhonda, I went to a drag queen reading last week in Vegas.
Did you?
Everybody had a good time. They were nice. They were caring. They were welcoming. The kids had a good time. There was nothing sexual. Nobody was being indoctrinated. All they said was, be happy for who you are. Let's treat everybody with respect. That was the only message. And then a bunch of drag queens were singing and dancing. Kids were smiling. And I'm thinking to myself, why are Republicans obsessed with this issue? What is the problem with this?
Because they're children. Were the kids aware that these were drag queens, that these weren't actual women, or were they characters?
I didn't interview every kid, but I can't imagine they were thinking about that. These are like 7, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kids that are just smiling and dancing.
Impressionable children.
So what is wrong with that then? Explain that to me.
I mean, because if little boys aren't naturally dressing up as women or drag queens, why encourage them to do so? You're
They weren't
influencing.
But they weren't encouraging them.
It's influencing.
But they weren't encouraging them to do so. All they were doing was saying it's okay to be who you are and be happy with who you are, and let's treat everybody with respect. That's not saying you better be a drag queen.
But you're a kid. How do you know who you are?
Well, if you're a kid, you're a kid. I'm just trying to understand why that's a bad thing for
Right,
kids.
because as a child, you don't know who you are, but you're influencing. People don't know, children are impressionable. You can influence them. Some kids may not even have an inkling of
So what's
dressing
wrong?
as a queen.
So what's wrong with being a drag queen then? I feel like it's a negative connotation.
What a drag queen.
What's wrong with that?
Because drag queen is entertainment, right? It's an artist. So is every child that dresses up like a woman, they're gonna get out on the stage and be a drag queen entertainer?
Of course not.
Exactly.
But if they want to dress up in other clothing, they can do that. What's the problem? I don't understand why that's a bad thing. I don't understand why.
It's not a bad thing if they come to it on their own. If they grow up and they say, I want to wear women's clothes, I want to wear women's panties, that's fine. That's your business.
But it's no different.
But they're children.
But it's no different than a child watching television and seeing one of their favorite artists in sexy clothing and saying, hey, I want to wear that. To me, it's no difference than that.
Well, as a parent, I'm not going to have my kids watching inappropriate artists either.
Well, you're a parent, so you have the right to make that decision.
Exactly.
I guess I feel like a lot of Republicans put this negative connotation on being gay or being a drag queen, and I say I was treated with respect. The kids were treated with respect. They weren't indoctrinated. They all were having a great time, food and drinks. I saw absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I still don't understand. Yeah, kids can be influenced by a lot of things, but I don't think a 7-year-old is going to go to a drag queen show and say, hey, I want to be gay, or hey, I want to do this. It just seemed to me like everybody had a good time. Rhonda, I just don't understand.
Let's have this. Let's have a past Republican day, and everybody dress up as their past Republican president, including Donald Trump, and see how much outrage there would be from the other side saying that you're indoctrinating these children to be Republicans.
I wouldn't say that at all.
I mean, not you,
because
you're open-minded, but don't tell me that some people in the Democrat Party wouldn't be outraged for talking about Donald Trump or dressing up or encouraging and introducing children to a certain political party.
Rhonda, let me ask you this, because, I mean, I do believe it's the parents' decision.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think it is a vulnerable time for Joe Biden. I think he can be defeated, but I don't personally believe Republicans, and I could be wrong, are going about it the right way with all that seem to be talking about is this cultural war instead of the inflation, we lost some jobs this month, stuff like that. Like, I just turned on Twitter then, and this is the first thing I see. A tweet from Ron DeSantis' wife. We will not allow you to exploit the innocence of our children to advance your agenda. When you come after our kids, we will fight back. We will never be silent. We are united. Like, this is another random tweet. Shouldn't they be focusing more on the issues, on what in the polls is a very vulnerable Democrat president right now?
I agree. I think both parties should be focusing on the real problems in America, like people trying to put food on their table, the cost of gas, the cost of rents now, and the lasting effects that we're still having from COVID-19. I absolutely agree that this should be a conversation on both sides of the aisle, and that the candidates are being distracted by really non-issues.
But Democrats are not the ones that are talking about critical race theory and how kids are being indoctrinated. Those are Republicans
because
that are doing
it's
that.
a setup. It's a setup. It's squirrel. Look over there. It's like right. Of course, when you set out and you're like, we're gonna have drag queens do this, and we're gonna talk about sex in schools, and we're gonna do that. Of course, you're gonna have a resistance, and why Republicans and not just Republicans, but there are outraged Democrats as well with this stuff.
But
it's a distraction.
Okay, but speaking of distractions, one of the leaders of your party is Ron DeSantis. Donald Trump is probably the leader right now, but Ron DeSantis is number 2 in line. And Ron DeSantis was asked on Fox News. Well, he is. He's one of the faces of your party.
I'm sorry. We're not in a monarchy. He is not my leader. It doesn't get passed down. He's not second in line.
Well, he is in the polls, according to...
Yes, okay. But don't say in line because this is not
Okay, well, he's the governor of Florida. He's one of the faces of your party. And he was asked by Trey Gowdy on Fox News, what would you do about the war in the Ukraine? and the first thing he says is talking about gender identity. A Democrat did not force him to say that, and it goes to show you what an embarrassing joke Ron DeSantis is and some of these Republicans. All they want to talk about is wokeness. All they want to talk about is children being indoctrinated. Critical race theory practically doesn't exist. Children are not being indoctrinated, but yet when we talk about real issues, which I agree with you, we should be talking about real issues, like the war in the Ukraine, Ron the idiot, that's who he is, wants to talk about gender identity because he's a moron. Can you just say that?
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis is a moron.
Okay, look, I said this when Ron DeSantis gave his announcement for president. I have to say, I seen more exciting PTA meetings than I did with Ron DeSantis.
We agree on that.
Boring.
It was a mess on Twitter.
It was boring. I was like, is this the Borg talking? But anyway, I'm just saying, but Ron DeSantis does not speak for a Republican Party. You can't take one individual and say they speak for everyone. We're all individuals. I think for myself, and Ron DeSantis definitely.
I'm not saying he speaks for all Republicans, but what I am saying is he's one of the main faces of your party.
And who's the main face of the Democrat Party?
Joe Biden's the president. I would say the big faces of the party are people like Booker, people like Gavin Newsom, people like Shapiro. I would say those.
And why not Robert Kennedy? Why is Joe Biden too afraid to debate Robert Kennedy? If you're the president, debate him.
I'll answer that. First of all, when was the last time Robert Kennedy was in office?
I didn't know who he was.
Robert Kennedy Jr.? I don't think he held a political office.
Exactly. So that's number one. Ron DeSantis is the governor. He's been in your party for a while now. Number two, Kennedy is a conspiracy theorist. He has zero credibility.
Really?
He said, when it comes to COVID, he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. He makes asinine comments on a daily basis about the vaccines. Absolutely. I mean, you can look it up. He's been fact-checked. He is a conspiracy theorist buffoon. And the reason, why do you think Steve Bannon supports Kennedy? Why do you think all the extremists on the right support Kennedy and want him to run? Because they know it's good for Republicans. Because he's an embarrassment to Democrats. That's why. And constantly he talks about the vaccines and how the vaccines didn't work and didn't save any lives.
What else does he talk about?
Well, he talks about some policies that I might agree with, but he loses, in my opinion, all credibility when you say things, by the way, zero medical experience, by the way, says things that are beyond asinine, that have been fact-checked, that are just wrong, blatant conspiracy theories.
Have you researched his legal cases that he's won?
I'm sure he's...
Because when you come to like suing companies, sometimes attorneys who are in like the medical malpractice or in defective products like vaccines, they sometimes know more because they actually have experts that they speak with and they deal with, and they have the knowledge from all the sides. And based on a legal case, we have to prove your case because he's won a lot of cases against vaccines.
I don't doubt that he's won some cases. I understand that. But what I am saying is he says things that are not true about the vaccines.
Obviously, if he won cases based on vaccines, and they obviously were true, otherwise he wouldn't have won those cases, correct?
So what was true about them? Because I feel like this vaccine conspiracy only applies in America. Like, I'm from Australia. We are 92% vaccinated with the same vaccine, and no one's complained once about.
What vaccine are we talking about?
Well, I took the Pfizer.
I took the Pfizer.
Oh, you're talking about the COVID-19
Pfizer and Moderna.
Okay.
We're 92% vaccinated, and Australia's happy right now.
Here's my issue with politicians in general, like Kennedy. I don't listen to them when it comes to medical information. I listen to actual people on the front lines, infectious disease experts and doctors. And if you listen, you can find maybe 10 or 20 doctors that make appearances on Fox News because they're trying to sell a book, and they try to say something differently than 1,000 to 5,000 other infectious disease experts. But the bottom line is Kennedy, he might be a skilled attorney, but he has zero medical experience.
Okay, so what about the WHO reversing their opinions and recommendations on a lot of the vaccine issues?
Sure. So the problem is that we were facing a pandemic, and we had at one point 4,000 or 5,000 people that were dying every day. They didn't have the necessary time needed in some cases to test the vaccine. However, with that being said, hundreds of millions of people have taken the vaccine, and they are extremely safe. Extremely safe.
Okay.
And there's no question mistakes were made. There's no question about that, and we can Monday morning quarterback that. But the bottom line, the facts speak for themselves. 8 out of 10 people that are doctors or physicians or nurses have taken the vaccine. Millions of people have not.
By choice?
Some of them didn't have to take them. They could have worked elsewhere. But if you listen to most medical experts, and when I say most, I mean like 99% of of infectious disease experts. They'll tell you that the vaccines, for the most part, there's always going to be a risk with any vaccine, but they are tremendously safe. And Kennedy is an anti-vaxxer. He says he's not, but he is. And when you hear him talk about vaccines, he is. Again, Robert Kennedy is not a doctor. He has zero medical experience. I agree with him on some social issues. That's fine. But let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Why is it that Steve Bannon and so many radicals, because Steve Bannon is a right-wing idiot. I mean, I think he's despicable, in my opinion. Why is it that guys like Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk, Mr. White Supremacist on Twitter, why is it that these people are such huge supporters of Kennedy? Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Why are some of the liberal extremists supporting Joe Biden? It's their choice. I don't base my votes and I don't base my support based on who supports them and who doesn't support them.
I think it speaks volumes about the candidate.
I base it on the individual. I base it on their policies, because you have if Robert Kennedy Jr. is a anti-vaxxer, then you have people who are pro-vaxxers. Why can't we have our own opinions in America and express them?
As long as it's not misinformation.
I'll answer that because
on both sides.
I think you're entitled to your own facts, but you're not entitled to your own opinions. If I said the Earth was flat, you would look at me and think I was an idiot, right? I wouldn't say, well, everyone's entitled to their own opinions, because when you say things that are factually inaccurate, example, there are at least 7 or 8 right-wing radio talk show hosts that are dead right now. They're dead, they died of the vaccines, and they were anti-vaxxers, and they spread medical misinformation. When you spread medical misinformation, like shooting yourself up with Lysol, or whatever Donald Trump said in that press conference. He talked about disinfectants.
Seriously.
He talked about disinfectants at one of his press conferences.
As a serious conversation, I'm saying.
Okay, well,
not facetious,
as the president,
not like,
I'll tell you, Rhonda, as the president holding a coronavirus press conference, you should probably be serious.
When, in 2020? Oh, like Joe Biden?
I'm talking about Donald Trump talking about injecting yourself with disinfectant. If you want to talk about being serious.
I mean, like Joe Biden giving out crack pipes? Is that serious?
Joe Biden was handing out crack pipes
giving
on the street?
Giving out crack pipes? I mean, like, advocating to give out crack pipes?
What policy is that he was giving out crack pipes?
Oh, you didn't see that in 2020?
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
He was handing out crack pipes? Well,
that was one of the policies. He wanted to give out crack pipes.
Okay. So I don't know if that policy...
I mean, like giving out needles. I mean, like,
I don't know of that policy where he was giving out...
if your son's a crackhead, I guess you wouldn't want to give out crack pipes.
I don't know if he was giving out crack pipes or needles, but here's what I will say, and I will not do what a lot of Republicans do, and I feel like you're doing this.
What?
If he did do that, guess what, Rhonda? It's wrong.
Exactly.
Why can't you say what Donald Trump did was wrong?
Both sides are wrong. Look,
But he did say if it's true, it's wrong.
And I'm going to say if it was true and it was serious, then it's wrong. I'm not a robot. If I don't agree with something, I'm going to say I don't agree with it.
Do you believe Donald Trump lost the election?
We had this conversation. I don't know. You know why? Because we said that there was fraud found in the election, but it wasn't fully investigated. So definitively, nobody can say that, because definitively, like legally and accurately right now, we can say these are the numbers of votes that were counted. The way the election stands, Joe Biden won. However, we don't know how many votes were not counted, how many votes were illegal votes, because it was never investigated.
It staggers me that there's been 50 lawsuits in our democracy, and he won 303 electoral college votes, which he won easily. I don't know how they could possibly make that up enough to win.
Because you win electoral college votes by the number of people that voted for you in a certain state, and if the state votes are not accurate, then the electoral vote is not accurate.
It didn't seem like a close election to me.
We don't know, because there was election fraud and it was never investigated. As we stand right now, legally.
What do you mean never investigated? There were countbacks. There were 50 lawsuits.
Lawsuits does not mean investigation.
How would you like to investigate?
By actually verifying the votes that were counted, verifying the votes that were questionable.
In what state?
Michigan is one of them. Wisconsin is another one.
But in order to have a recount, you have to have sufficient evidence that...
Or the court.
You have to have, but then why is it that Trump...
But having sufficient evidence does not mean that person... You can be a murderer, murdered your wife,
so let me ask
but there's not sufficient evidence to convict you or arrest you, but does that mean that you didn't murder your wife?
So let me ask you a question. Donald Trump lost 61 times in a courtroom. He had attorneys. They had the opportunity to present evidence. They have not. To this day, It's now 2023. Okay, been 3 years since the election. Nobody has seen any evidence of widespread voter fraud. Now, you can say, well, it wasn't investigated. I guess it wasn't investigated that the earth is flat, but the earth is not flat either.
Brian, you will appreciate this. As a black woman in America who actually works in the justice system, go ask all the brown and black people who are now incarcerated under the Joe Biden crime bill if they got a fair shake in court. So you want to put all your, and I work in that system. You want to put all your faith in the courts ruled this way, so that's the way it is. Then put your faith in this is the way the Supreme Court ruled.
It's not just where the courts rule.
You just said the courts.
It's not just, okay, that's one piece of it. I also said we have not seen from anybody widespread voter fraud evidence.
How would you?
2,000 mules is not evidence.
How would you? I didn't say that, but how would you?
One of Donald Trump's attorneys would have actually provided some evidence in a courtroom.
It's a thing called discovery. You can't provide evidence unless a court tells you and gives you the authority to get the evidence.
So where did it come from?
If you're destroying ballot boxes and you're destroying ballots, that's evidence. If the court doesn't say you have the right to examine that evidence, how do you do it?
Who is destroying it?
How do you do it?
Who destroyed evidence? What are you talking about?
The Register of Voters destroyed ballots.
Like they ripped up
Arizona.
Votes?
Because after the election, after a certain amount of time, you can destroy ballots. They destroyed the ballots.
Well, that's the first
time. So how do you
time.
count them?
I would like to see evidence that the registrar.
You and I will have this off book, and I will show you the states that destroyed the ballots because they do. Unless a court orders you to preserve them, you can destroy them.
Well, I'm just saying this with all due respect. I'm living in reality. The reality is Joe Biden won a free and fair election. Republicans who actually run stakes like Brad Raffensperger, Donald Trump is the one that was going after guys like him. I don't know if you seem to have a problem with that conversation he had with him.
But my thing is like, why are we still talking about the 2020 election when we got the 2024 election coming up?
Here's why.
He went on Fox News the other day and wouldn't let it go.
But
I admit that Donald Trump won the election. I didn't want him to win the 2016 election. He won it fair and square. I don't understand how much of a coward you can be that you can't actually go out there in a democracy in the best country in the world and say, I lost.
We're a republic. The United States is a republic.
I lost.
Here's to answer your question. Here's why. Because, again, the leader of your party, he is Donald Trump, whether you want to admit that or not. He is the leader of your party right now. Is still saying he won the 2020 election.
All right.
That's why.
Well, we'll tell all the homeless children and all the people that are living from paycheck to paycheck with the economy because of the shutdowns and COVID. We'll go tell them that, hey, you know what? Your representatives aren't talking about solving your problems of how you're going to put food on your table.
Why do you always bring that up?
Because we're talking about the 2020 election.
No, he is.
But
I don't want to
not.
ever talk about it again.
Am I talking about it?
No, that's why I asked your opinion. I asked your opinion.
But
all right,
why are we
let's
talking about real problems?
Well, let's talk about what you just brought up then. Let's switch topics then.
Okay.
You obviously have problems with the shutdowns in 2020. When we were losing 4,000 to 5,000 people a day in the heart of the pandemic, would you have had any mitigating factors at all, or you just would have let everybody do whatever the hell they want?
No, and my opinion has been consistent and the same. I said I did believe in the immediate shutdown. I did not believe in the long-term shutdown where a lot of elected officials abused the shutdown to keep people inside, to keep people from certain businesses from not being open. And I believe that it went too far and it reached into other people's constitutional rights.
I don't think there's any question.
I think immediately, yes, I do believe in it.
I don't think there's any question that I don't think there's any question that a lot of mistakes were made. I criticize Steve Sisolak, for example, for opening up the casinos but still forcing bars to close down for the second time. There is no question that there were mistakes made, and I don't doubt that for 1 second, but I think we all can agree that a lot of people lost their lives.
Yes.
COVID was a very serious virus. It was awful. People lost their businesses. People lost their lives. And I hope we don't get another pandemic, but if we do that, I hope this country and the entire world will be more prepared. There's no questions that mistakes were made. There were plenty of mistakes made when Trump was in office. There were mistakes made when Biden's been in office.
Agreed.
But, some people would say we're Monday morning quarterbacking. I don't know. But as I've said before, and I say again, I would still listen to people with medical experience than people who Monday morning quarterback who have no medical
Not
degrees.
absolutely, though. Because if I listened to doctors, I would have lost 2 of my children. And you have to question authority, even if they're your doctors. You have to question that. You have to ask them, well, why? Why? You have to be able to do that because they're human beings. They're not perfect.
Well, we get second opinions, but yes, why would you have lost your children?
Because my daughter had botulism when she was 11 months old.
She had what, sorry?
Botulism. At 11 months old. It's a bacteria that it can be deadly because it freezes your muscles from the top down.
Right.
And I kept taking her to the doctor, and the doctor's like, there's nothing wrong with her. I could see that there's something because her eye was drooping. As a mother, you know what you see your children every day. I did 3 times until finally I waited till my doctor's office was closed with Children's Hospital. Then I took her to the Children's Hospital emergency room. She was immediately admitted. Did all kinds of neural tests. Come to find out she had botulism. It's deadly. Had I listened to my doctor and just kept my child at home, my 28-year-old would not be here right now.
I'm glad she's here now, and I will respond by saying this: doctors are not God.
Right.
They make mistakes.
Exactly.
But I still stand by my statement where I would rather listen to somebody with a medical degree than some right-winger like Kennedy on Twitter talking about medicine. He might be a skilled attorney, but I'm still going to listen to an infectious disease expert over a politician with 0 medical expertise. That's all I'm saying.
And I would agree with that. But if you have 2 medical doctors with conflicting opinions, then you question those 2 medical doctors down, and you make your own decision based on that. That's what I'm saying. That's what we should have done. I'm not going to just listen to a doctor. If there's conflicting opinions, I'm going to listen to both opinions and make my own decision. Like with the vaccine, I listened to medical doctors and I listened to other medical doctors on the other side, and I chose for myself not to get the vaccine.
I don't believe the vaccines should have ever been mandatory. However, I took the vaccine. And 2/3 of this country have comorbidities. I can tell you right now without question that the vaccine saved millions of lives. There are not millions of people dropping dead from the vaccines. There are not millions of people dying of myocarditis. There is a lot of misinformation on social media about that. Have there some people that have had some bad effects from the vaccine? Sure, I'm sure there are.
And died.
But there are a lot of lies out there. We've had hundreds of millions of people.
On both sides.
Well, I mean,
on both sides.
Can you admit to me that the vaccines, for the most part, have been very safe and effective?
For whom?
For the entire planet.
There is not enough information to say that.
Do you think they've saved more lives than they've killed, the vaccine?
I can't definitively say that. Because
okay, well,
we don't. It's so new. We don't have all the data. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to.
1 million people died before in this country.
And then you get So when did the vaccine come out? Think about it.
I don't remember the exact date.
It came out like
End
a year
2020?
later.
End of 2020?
Almost a year later it came out. So it came out not at the height of the pandemic. It came out at the end of the pandemic. At the end of the peak, it was plateauing. So of course it appears like, the vaccine came out, nobody else is really dying from COVID. Because in the beginning and in the middle, that's where the peak was. Of course there was a lot more.
You really believe it's done more harm than good?
I don't know that. I'm not saying that either because I don't have enough. Unlike everybody else, I don't have enough facts to base an opinion on it.
And I'm just giving you my opinion. When I hear a politician that is running for office or that is in office that says they don't know whether Donald Trump won the 2020 election or not, and they don't know if the vaccines did more good than bad, I'm just giving you my personal opinion. I get very turned off by that.
Me
because
too.
those are not facts. We're entitled to our opinions.
They're not facts.
The vaccines have saved millions of lives.
But that's not a fact. The point is that, you know what? Actually, it should be more respected because politicians will say whatever somebody wants them to say. I don't say that.
It is a fact. You can look at the numbers, though.
Yeah, but
who said it for a fact?
Sure.
Let's see which.
Let's start with the hospital.
Who said it for a fact?
Let's start with the hospital. So if you look at the deaths.
No, I want to hear facts. Who said that for a fact?
The stats coming out of the hospital.
Okay, so who analyzed the stats?
Who analyzed
the stats and came up with that conclusion?
I'm confused. What do you mean by analyzing?
You said the stats. You said it was a fact. So I said who said it was a fact.
So every single time somebody dies of COVID, they mark down whether that person was vaccinated or not.
No, they marked down. And if you died and you had COVID, the COVID virus in your system, they say it was COVID. You could have died like AIDS. AIDS, you don't die from AIDS. You die from other things, ailments like pneumonia. They say that you died from ammonia, that you had AIDS.
But
they don't say you died
led-
from AIDS.
But the AIDS led to
when you
the.
have COVID, you die.
If you have comorbidities,
They say COVID killed you.
but if you have comorbidities and you get COVID, it rapidly gets that comorbidity to where you are, which could be death. Therefore, you died of COVID. Yes, you
How
might
did you
have
die
not-
from COVID?
If you get COVID, it attacks your
It's
lungs.
contributed to the death. It's
Oh,
not
of
the
course.
cause of the death.
Of
It contributed
course.
to your death. So your cause of death is not COVID. Your cause of death is
So I have diabetes.
whatever.
To me,
right.
that's still dying from
Okay.
But it's
COVID.
not-
though.
I'll
but-
give you an example, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I have diabetes. I almost died of COVID. Let's be very clear. If I died, I did not die from diabetes. I take care of myself. I died from COVID. Now, my immune system might not be as strong as yours, but I did not die because I'm a diabetic. I died from COVID. I caught COVID. I was in the ICU because of COVID, not because of diabetes. Does that make sense?
But if you didn't have diabetes, would you be in the hospital from COVID?
If I didn't have diabetes, would I be in the hospital from COVID? I don't know. I can't answer that question.
You don't know.
I don't know.
That's my whole point.
I don't get
is
the
you
point
don't,
of this debate. He
don't
was
have enough-
immune compromised because he had
I
diabetes.
got COVID. I got
He
COVID.
got COVID, nearly died.
I got COVID. I have high blood pressure.
If COVID didn't exist, he wouldn't have nearly died.
And there are
'cause it was
also
after-
people
And
that
I'm anemic.
But I also know some healthy people that have died of COVID.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand that. If somebody dies in a car accident and they had AIDS, they didn't die of AIDS. They died from the car accident.
Right, but if they died of pneumonia, that was a complication from AIDS. They didn't die from AIDS. They died from pneumonia. I mean, look at the death certificates. I mean, that's what it is.
But AIDS compromises the immune system. It breaks down your immune
Exactly.
system, so you're vulnerable to something else.
You're vulnerable to something, but you don't
quite
die
I
from
don't
it.
quite understand what the debate
Because
is.
it's a legal it's a legal and medical terminology that they use.
Well, I mean, listen. I go back to what I said earlier. You can disagree with me. Donald Trump did not win the 2020 election. That's just a fact.
I mean,
and it's just a fact.
It's like Hillary Clinton
Right
didn't win
now.
2016.
Right.
It's like Mitt
Right.
Romney didn't win 2012.
Right.
It's like,
And the vaccines have done a lot more help to this country and to the world
that's
than
so
harm.
new. I mean, that's so new that
If you listen to any infectious disease expert, they'll tell you if there's going to be any issues with a vaccine, it's going to happen 99% of the time within 4 to 6 weeks of taking the vaccine. We know that the vaccines are, for the most part, very safe. We also know that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election.
Well, say that to the people who died from the vaccine, who had no choice, who
died from the vaccine?
who died, who was forced to take the vaccine.
Do you know one person that has died from the vaccine?
Yes.
Who? And how do you know for sure?
How do I know for sure?
Yes.
Because they were fine. They were fine until they took the vaccine, and then the symptoms and their cause of death were related side effects of the vaccine.
Got you. So you're making an
saying,
assumption.
No, I'm not making an assumption.
What did
I'm saying,
that person's doctor say?
what does their death certificate say? I don't know what their death certificate
You don't
says.
know.
I'm
So
sure
you
it
don't
doesn't
know,
say.
So you don't know what the experts said about the death and the people that knew that person's medical history, but you're
No.
making a gross assumption
No,
that
it's
it must
not.
have been the vaccine. Let me give you an example.
It's
of
called deductive reasoning.
No, no, it's not. It's called.
It's called deductive reasoning.
It's called you don't know their medical history and you're making a gross right-wing assumption. Let me give you an example. There was a 14-year-old girl that dropped dead, sad, in the city of Las Vegas. Sad, very, very sad. All these people in Las Vegas made the assumption, oh, she was vaccinated, she must have had myocarditis and died because she got the vaccine. And guess
That's
what?
speculation.
Yeah, and what you're doing is speculation.
No, it's not.
And guess what?
I'm
we
just
learned?
doing deductive
No.
reasoning, and there is a difference.
Charlie Kirk did that with Demir Hamlin when he had the
that
heart attack.
one-
I
in the
try
field.
and prove cases all the time in court. This is exactly what I'm doing. You can't speculate in court, but you can use evidence and deductive reasoning and evidence to support your case. That's what I'm doing. I'm not speculating.
Well, that young girl who died, her mother came out and did some interviews and said she had heart issues, and that's why she died. It wasn't because of the vaccine.
So was the vaccine contributing to
No.
her? Did
Her mother
it
said-
exacerbate her heart issues?
Her mother said no because her doctors
Oh.
also said no, and I'm going to listen to her mother.
Did she produce the autopsy report and the death certificate?
Did she produce
Did
it?
you did she publicly release the death certificate and autopsy
And here's
report?
what I'm going to do in answering that question. Did you see your friend's autopsy report and the death certificate, or are you doing the exact same thing right now?
No,
Did
I'm
you
not.
see it? Yes or no?
I saw one of the people that I'm talking about. Yes, I did see it.
You saw the death certificate?
Yes, I did.
And what did it say?
And the autopsy report.
And what did it say? Did it say they died from the vaccine?
It said that
it didn't.
It did not say
Shocker.
the cause of death wasn't because of the vaccine, like the cause of death wasn't because of COVID. The cause of death was the underlying conditions that they had prior to the vaccine. That's what it said. And that is an ongoing legal case. That's what it said.
So you disagree with the medical experts on the
I do not disagree. I disagree with some of the aspects of the medical professionals.
You have the
because
right.
Because of the fact is like.
Okay, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier.
Okay.
You have the right to disagree with the medical experts. But going back to what I said 15 minutes ago, I would rather listen to those medical experts. They're not all perfect.
Right.
But I would rather listen to those medical experts, knowing that person's medical history and cause of death, over somebody with zero medical experience. That's all I'm saying.
And I agree with that. I didn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I believe it should not be mandatory. It's people's choice whether to have it or not.
Right.
I just have a big problem with 3 years later people are still saying Trump won the election. I have a big problem with the vaccine has caused all these weird deaths and problems because the vaccine's in every country in the world, but we only seem to hear this in America.
Not every doctor is going to get everything right.
No.
Not every election is going to be perfect. There was no widespread voter fraud, and there are not millions of people dying from the vaccine.
Well, I'm sure that people out there who don't have medical coverage because it's too expensive, they can give two craps about the vaccine and who got the vaccine, who doesn't want to get the vaccine. They want to know how can they go get their blood pressure checked and how they're going to get their medications that they need. That's what we should be talking about.
I agree with that.
But we're
Republicans,
focused on.
I agree with that. Most Republicans are against Medicaid, and most Republicans are against Obamacare. Yet they have no replacement for Obamacare.
Obamacare is still. You think about Obamacare is expensive.
So where's your
see, everybody think that Obamacare is the magical pill that gave everybody health care. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Trump had 4 years to replace
pay for it.
For like 8 years now, I've been hearing Republicans complain about Obamacare, and I keep hearing about a plan coming out. Where is it?
Look, you always affiliate me with my political party.
You're a Republican.
But I'm an indivial.
You're complaining about Obamacare.
I'm a mother of 6 children. My 26-year-old just aged out of my insurance, and she's on her own insurance now. But the thing is that, and that was probably the only good thing that Obamacare did was allow kids to stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26.
I have no problem with you not liking Obamacare and having your grievances. That's not my issue. Here is my issue. Like many other Republicans, and I am going to group you in this situation.
Oh, my God.
In this situation, you complain about Democrat policies, but I don't hear any solutions from you. Where is your replacement? Obamacare doesn't get more of a Democrat policy than that. Where is your replacement plan for Obamacare?
Affordable health care. Not giving more money to
That's a very generic statement.
No. I'm going to if you let me elaborate, I will tell you. Not giving more money to the insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies who have all the politicians in their pocket, but making healthcare actually affordable and making healthcare insurance companies accountable for just denying claims for people, so for their profits. But truly making healthcare affordable I'm going to say a word that I know it's not a Republican word, but I'm going to say it, by regulating the insurance companies to ensure that everyone gets equal coverage and it's affordable.
That sounds
not
great.
Based on the bottom, not based on their bottom line.
That sounds fine to me. And if you're not with the other Republicans I'm speaking of, then fine.
It should be a bipartisan thing. It's not the Bloods against the Crips. It's a bipartisan thing.
How can it be a bipartisan thing when Republicans don't have any plan? Donald Trump said
Who's talking about it?
Every Republican complains about Obamacare.
No, I'm like, who's trying to... Look, it's this side and that side. But who's bringing the two parties together to talk about a common solution for America?
Rhonda. Firstly, you are running as a Republican, so we will question you on policies and Republican
But I'm an American first.
But here's the deal.
An American first.
But for 4 years, Trump had office and he had the Senate and the House majority, right? And all they spoke about was repealing Obamacare. He said that in his speeches the whole time, and that was his opportunity.
And Jim Jordan, and Matt Gaetz, and Lauren Boebert. I can name you all the Republicans.
And what about Rhonda Kennedy?
It never happened. It never got
What about
repealed.
Rhonda Kennedy? When I'm elected to the U.S. Senate and I don't do anything, then you can talk about that and talk about Rhonda Kennedy. But Rhonda Kennedy was not in the Senate or in Congress during that time.
Okay, if I go on your website right now, do you have a replacement plan for Obamacare in detail on your website?
Why would I have a replacement plan in detail?
Because you're Rhonda Kennedy.
Am I in office?
You're trying to
get
in office.
Do I know? How am I going to... Look, before you can introduce a replacement, a bill for a policy, there is research. Every congressional member and every Senate, strike that, every U.S. representative and every senator has a research. They have a legal research. They have a researcher who researches your ideas and your policies to make sure that they are legal, they coincide with the Constitution, they don't conflict with any of the laws.
But as an
I'm not going to be
voter,
a fake and phony and say...
Understood. I didn't say that. But as an independent voter who leans to the left on social issues, when I hear a Republican complain about a Democrat policy and I want to do research on them and I'm considering for voting for somebody like yourself, I want to be able to go on their website. And if I hear them, for lack of a better term, bitching, complaining. I'm sorry.
Am I bitching and complaining?
Well, I'm just...
Lack of a better term, you're not.
Okay.
No, but I'm... Okay, go ahead.
In general terms, about, say, in this instance, Obamacare or gun control or anything, Democrat or Republican, I want to know what their solutions are. If I hear a Democrat complain, oh, my God, we have all this gun violence out there. Okay, what are you going to do about it?
But I just said what I would do about it. I said regulations. Can I legally say what regulations, what power Congress has to? That's the problem. Politicians do this, but legally they're not able to do what they're saying they're doing because they don't know that it violates the Constitution or it violates an already previous bill or previous law.
Donald Trump had the opportunity to come up with a replacement plan for 4 years. He never did it.
I'm not Donald Trump. I'm Rhonda Kennedy.
And he had the House and the
I'm
Senate.
Rhonda Kennedy. I'm not Donald Trump. I'm Rhonda Kennedy.
I understand that. That's why I want to see a foolproof plan on your website.
Why would I have a foolproof plan? It would be a lie. You know why? Because I'm saying that this is what I said. I want real affordable health care for everyone. I want pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies to be held accountable and regulated on denying people medication.
I know, but
and
I want to hear where that money.
services.
I want to hear where that money's going to come
It's
from.
coming from them. They're the ones that's made during 2008, during the recession, our crash.
Yes.
Who made the record number profits? Insurance companies.
Listen.
Insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies.
I am on your
did.
side when I believe, and people might call me a conspiracy theorist. Maybe they'll call me Kennedy Jr. I believe we could cure cancer, diabetes right now, and the reason why diabetes is not cured
because
there's too much money.
Exactly.
I am on your side.
I believe that.
I agree.
I'm just speaking in general terms. I want to hear specifics from people, no matter what issue we're talking about. If you're going to complain about the Joe Biden administration, immigration, whatever the case may be.
I have this is what I have. I have my ideas, and this is what I want for the American people. Now, how you implement those, that's why there is a legislative body, because that's something that we need to work together and do. This is what I want. I want affordable health care. How do we accomplish affordable health care? It's like, it's like anybody that's a CEO or head of an office or whatever, they say, this is what I want to do. I want this and this and this result. How do we get there? And we collectively come together. How do we legally get there? That's what politicians
I don't have a
doing.
problem with that, but I'll tell you what I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about drag queens reading books to kids and how our kids are being indoctrinated.
Oh, drag queens.
I don't want to talk about critical race theory. I don't want to talk
What
about
is critical
Hunter
race theory?
Biden's laptop. These are non-issues. And most Republicans talk about those three issues.
I don't want to hear about Ron DeSantis. I don't want to hear about the election. I don't want to hear about all those things. But they're still being talked about.
Who do you believe should run for the Republican Party against Joe Biden next year?
I think Donald Trump. Ron DeSantis. I think I would like to see a Trump Scott ticket.
Okay, well, obviously I'm not
I know we don't agree,
much
but
of a Trump person for a lot of different reasons.
I'm actually sort of glad you said a name.
But I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan either. I think Ron DeSantis is would be more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump. I don't think there's any chance that Donald Trump beats Joe Biden. I also believe Donald Trump is facing a lot of legal trouble. And we'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
a lot of them are manufactured.
But there's no question if Donald Trump loses another election, he'll say it was stolen again. And if he wins an election, he'll say everything was just fine because it's BS.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, my guy, Bryan Salmond from Channel 3 Sports is going to be joining us. Rhonda, it is always a good debate. No, I like having these debates with you. I enjoy it. It's always a good debate and a good discussion.
I sat in the middle with a
And
drink.
I always have respect for anybody running for office that's willing to come to Sapphire. And I do respect Rhonda for willing to engage and having a good discussion and a good debate, even though we might not. You know, I had Alan Bigelow in the studio the other day. Very good man. We disagree on a lot of things. He served his country. He's a hero. And I told him the same thing I tell you. I respect anybody that's willing to have these debates. Because if you go on Newsmax, they're not going to challenge you. Let's just be honest. They're not. If you go on right-wing radio shows, they're not going to challenge you on anything. They're just going to let you go. I don't think that's good radio. And if there's a Democrat sitting there, I'm going to do the same thing to them. I'm going to challenge them like I challenge you. And I appreciate the fact you're not afraid to be challenged.
I enjoy the challenge.
I like you here.
Here's what I want you to do, Rhonda.
Tell me.
I want you to relax now. Enjoy your beverage. Have a seat. Have some pizza.
Yes.
And just relax. No more politics. We're going to have some fun.
No more politics.
And I appreciate you being here. It's good to see you, Rhonda. Thank you so much.
I want you to win. I just don't want to hear about Trump won the election. That's the only thing I want.
Fair enough. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks to Rhonda Kennedy for joining us. That was a fun conversation, and she'll definitely be back, I know. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Bryan Salmond from Channel 3 Sports is going to be joining us. My man. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about in the sports world. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. It's Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Sapphire Pool and Day Club, the world's only topless gentlemen's day club, introduces its 2023 pool season lineup with a bevy of beauties and social media celebrities throughout the summer who will all host alongside hundreds of Sapphire's topless poolside entertainers. Enjoy brunch in the sun with items like frittata-style omelets, stripping chicken, and French kiss toast before washing it down with signature summertime cocktails. 10 lines, beware. Go Bear! Ladies are welcome to go topless within the day club for the ultimate party. Guests can purchase affordable day bed packages, cabana packages, lounge chairs, and more. The best part though? Pushing the Limits will be broadcasting shows every other Friday throughout the pool season with a ton of surprise celebrity guests. Wow! Reserve your spot now. For more info, visit SapphirePoolLV.com or call 702-869-0003. That's 702-869-0003. See you at Sapphire.
Look, it's impossible for the average person to find a great attorney out there. There's so much misinformation. Now, let me introduce you to former Chief Deputy District Attorney Thomas Moskal. He was Las Vegas's top DUI prosecutor for years. He prosecuted the most high-profile DUI cases in Clark County. No one knows more about DUI law in Nevada. Just Google it. If you get charged with DUI, whether it's a misdemeanor or even more importantly, a felony, you need Thomas Moskal representing you. His relationships with the prosecutors and judges and his knowledge of DUI law to work for you. So give him a call now or text him at 702-848-5555. It's your life and liberty that's at stake. Don't wait. Call now. That number again, 702-848-5555. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Whether you're a corporate executive, on a family vacation, or just passing through, St. George Inn & Suites will meet your specific needs. It's conveniently located near restaurants, shopping, and movie theaters. St. George Inn & Suites offers a variety of room types, 2 fabulous pools and jacuzzis, a fitness center, a free full hot buffet breakfast, and laundry facilities. To make your booking, call 435-673-6661 or book online at stgeorgeinnhotel.com. You need to stop in Southern Utah? Make that stop at St. George Inn & Suites.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well, so I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Wynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Sapphire Pool and Day Club, the world's only topless gentlemen's day club, introduces its 2023 pool season lineup with a bevy of beauties and social media celebrities throughout the summer who will all host alongside hundreds of Sapphire's topless poolside entertainers. Enjoy brunch in the sun with items like frittata-style omelets, stripping chicken, and French kiss toast before washing it down with signature summertime cocktails. 10 lines, beware. Go Bear! Ladies are welcome to go topless within the day club for the ultimate party. Guests can purchase affordable day bed packages, cabana packages, lounge chairs, and more. The best part though? Pushing the Limits will be broadcasting shows every other Friday throughout the pool season with a ton of surprise celebrity guests. Wow! Reserve your spot now. For more info, visit SapphirePoolLV.com or call 702-869-0003. That's 702-869-0003. See you at Sapphire.
Look, it's impossible impossible for the average person to find a great attorney out there. There's so much misinformation. Now, let me introduce you to former Chief Deputy District Attorney Thomas Moskal. He was Las Vegas's top DUI prosecutor for years. He prosecuted the most high-profile DUI cases in Clark County. No one knows more about DUI law in Nevada. Just Google it. If you get charged with DUI, whether it's a misdemeanor or even more importantly, a felony, you need Thomas Moskal representing you. His relationships with the prosecutors and judges and his knowledge of DUI law to work for you. So give him a call now or text him at 702-848-5555. It's your life and liberty that's at stake. Don't wait. Call now. That number again, 702-848-5555. Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement, and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices, office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554.
Sports Insider Radio, Wednesday morning at 9 on KSHP, North Las Vegas, AM and FM, K29, 6HP, North Las Vegas, and KSHP.com.
STN Sports is the only sports betting app you need this season. STN Sports has it all. In-play betting, mobile parlay cards, the Play Plus card to fund and withdraw from anywhere in Nevada, and the latest lines on every game. STN Sports even lets you earn rewards on every bet. Safe and easy betting from your phone or tablet. Go to stationcasinosports.com or sign up at any Station Casino, Fiesta Wildfire, or the El Cortez. Details at the sportsbooks.
The Farmer's Burger from Farmer Boys. Beef, bacon, cheese, hand-smashed avocado, and fresh veggies. Best burger champ. That's how we drop the mic. Farmer Boys. Farm food ain't fast food. Farmer Boys' new always crispy fries stay crispier and tastier all the way home. If they make it home. Sharing is caring. Farmer Boys. Farm food ain't fast food.
All right, welcome back. What a beautiful Friday afternoon it is, and it makes it even a little bit more beautiful when you're at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club, the only gentlemen's club with a topless pool in all of Las Vegas. We are all having a very, very good time. Let me adjust the camera a little bit here. It's a little, we got to lower it a little bit. Thank you. Joe, the engineer, does a fantastic job right here. I have to drag him out here every other week. I know it's a tough job.
He's the best.
Somebody has to do it.
Well,
We're good. Thank you, Joe.
I'm not that intelligent.
Yeah, he loves the view. We all love the view here. We're having a great time.
He helped me a lot while you were gone.
By the way, my thanks to Rhonda Kennedy. I hope I didn't scare her away.
She went to the bathroom.
Okay, but back. Rhonda's great. We always have a good debate with her, and we always appreciate it when anybody really who's willing to have a debate with us, right, guys? She was great. Here's a guy, one of my good friends. I call him the King Anchor at Channel 3 because that's what he is. He's all over the tube, man. I walk around with him. This guy's a celebrity. Of course, I'm talking about Bryan Salmond from Channel 3 Sports joining us right now. Bryan, I'm sorry to drag you out here. How you doing? There we go. Is your mic on?
Mic check. There we go.
There we go.
Hey,
We wouldn't want to silence you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything really good to say, man. I mean, unfortunately, I had to come out to the Sapphire pool, and unfortunately, I have these sunglasses on so no one can see what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at you right now.
Sunglasses is the key.
I don't think you should. Let me ask you a question. Did you strategically wear that shirt, #GirlDad, today?
What, just because I know the ladies like it?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
No, I would never do none of the suches.
Bryan, we have so much to talk about. Of course, it's been a great ride with the Vegas Golden Knights, but I want to talk a little bit NBA with you because this is a big story for Vegas.
Huge.
Story leaked out, Adrian Wojnarowski, who almost always gets his information right, And this is going to happen where there's going to be a press conference from what I've heard this weekend where Adam Silver is the commissioner of the NBA. 2 days in the second week of December where we're going to have the Final Four, a midseason NBA tournament here. I mean, this is so exciting, and I know you love basketball just as much as I do. What did you think when you heard about this?
I'm thinking Las Vegas does it again. Las Vegas does it again. The sports and entertainment capital of the world. I say this on the air all the time because it really is. Just think about all the stuff we have just this weekend. You know, first of all, I'll say it like this. We used to say, hey, it's a big weekend. We got a lot of stuff coming up here in Las Vegas. We got like the NASCAR, we got baseball, we've got Golden Knights. But every weekend now there's something huge going on. NBA Summer League, we have a big UFC fight. You know, we have the WNBA team here. I mean, there's always something huge. We have soccer going on as well. Yeah, get my face in there. No, anyway.
Are we the sports capital of America yet?
Yeah,
we're reached that status?
Yes, I think so by far. So the NBA having their midseason tournament here, that's going to be bananas. We all know NBA loves coming to Las Vegas. We're getting a team, man. It got to be 2 years or so. We got to have a team in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, we just had Jay Bloom in studio the other day, and I just had dinner with Jay the other day. Great guy. And he's put a lot of people together. He told me that, you know, he attempted to purchase the Minnesota Timberwolves a couple of years ago for $2.5 billion, and he wanted to bring them to Vegas. I've had Gavin and Joe Maloof on. I had them on the day after the Knights won the Stanley Cup. They were nice enough to come on, and a lot of prominent people I've talked to, and I think Jay Bloom is going to be the guy that's going to bring an NBA team to Vegas, and it's going to happen within 2 years. You're going to get another team in Seattle. I think it's going to be 2 expansion teams. And this isn't by accident, by the way. They leaked this story, the NBA. You've got the NBA Summer League here this week. They did this on purpose. And it's smart. The NBA's smart. They know what they're doing. They tested this out with the NBA All-Star Weekend. Maybe that didn't go so well. But then the WNBA comes to town. We know how great that franchise is doing.
Yeah.
Arguably, they're going to be the best team in the history of the WNBA.
They're going back to back.
When it's all said and done. The NBA is very smart. They test these things out, right? And now we're looking at how successful the NBA Summer League has been. And we have a player that's getting a lot of press. That's playing tonight at 6 p.m. I wonder who that might be.
Man, Victor Wembanyama,
Yeah.
man. I mean, the fact that everything's sold out over there. 15,000. Basically, the first 2 days at the Summer League sold out at the Thomas and Mack. That's crazy. You remember doing the Summer League back in 2007?
I do.
They started off with 6 teams. We go in there. I remember Blake Griffin had his first games. It was a big – I had Kevin Durant, Greg Oden,
Steph Curry. Yeah.
I had David Stern on live.
Tatum wasn't even that long ago. We saw him in the Summer League, right? Booker. I mean, we've seen them all.
They're all over there.
It's so much fun, Bry, and they do such a great job. And what a deal. I don't mean to promote the Summer League, but I'm going to because they deserve it.
It's one of the best tickets in Vegas.
$40, you can watch like 8 games?
8 games.
It's ridiculous.
It's one of the best tickets in Vegas.
Guy, you got to come check it out, man. You got to check it out.
I mean, there has never been that much publicity for one particular player at a Summer League this year, right? I mean, we've had the Durants, we've had everyone, but this feels like a different level.
No, I agree. It definitely is a different level. I mean, the fact that it's sold out, it's going to be on ESPN tonight. You know what I mean? So
they're broadcasting it live, ESPN.
Oh, yeah. I think they started doing that maybe a couple years ago, but I mean, they've really been promoting the heck out of it. Did I say something?
Brian, what were you just looking at?
Yeah.
I thought something happened.
Hey, that is a true professional right there. See how he recovered?
Let me just start by saying this. Brian is I've seen his wonderful family. He's got 2 beautiful daughters. Brian is a great husband and a great father. But I will say this, it's very distracting to do a show here. There are a lot of beautiful people here that walk by, and it is a little bit distracting.
A little bit distracting. I just want to make sure I didn't get a drink spilled on me. That's all I was looking at.
Let's go to a topic that I actually wanted to talk to Rhonda about, but we got a little bit too much into politics. This is a funny story. I'm sorry it is. Anytime I hear a story about Britney Spears being smacked by a security guard, maybe I shouldn't laugh at that, but I do. I was rooting more for Christina Aguilera, but it was Britney Spears. No, but in all seriousness, she's tapping this guy on the shoulder, right? Let me ask you this. Should it matter whether you're a celebrity or not? Clearly they don't know each other.
Yeah.
It's not like they're friends.
Yeah.
I don't blame security for getting a little bit upset. What do you make of this story? And, of course, it happened in Vegas because everything does, right?
I know. Well, first of all, my thing is this, really. You never put your hands on anybody. male, female, bodyguard, no bodyguard. You shouldn't
Right.
put your hands on people. So, like, she necessarily probably shouldn't have been tapping them on the shoulder. You know, because there's a lot of women that are coming up to him, and to the bodyguards, you're just some female coming up and
They
bothering
didn't
them.
know it was Britney Spears.
Exactly.
That's what they said.
Exactly.
They said they just reacted.
But we also do know how like bodyguards and bouncers, they're always trying to be the MVP. They're doing too much. Like, calm down just a little bit. She's probably 5'3" or something like that. You know, like.
Could I ask you, does anyone know this? The reports were she was yelling at him in an English accent, in a British accent.
Well, listen, Britney Spears is
like,
mentally ill. We learned that years ago. I feel sorry. In some ways, I feel sorry for her. But I've watched the video, and first of all, you shouldn't be tapping somebody on the shoulder, number one. Number two, if you want to say hello to another celebrity, then you have to probably go through somebody else if you're not friends with them. That's number two. And, you know, so listen, I think it's kind of funny. Britney Spears wasn't seriously hurt, okay? There might be some sort of lawsuit or something. I don't know.
She looks like a fan.
All I know
legit fan.
is when I hear a story of Britney Spears getting smacked by a security guard, my first reaction is to laugh. Now, does that make me a bad person? Maybe it does. I don't know.
You're a horrible human being.
I find this to be a very funny story.
It was more of a tap. I'm not sure a slap
I
even justified.
I couldn't even see a
It was
smack.
a little nudge.
I didn't see the smack because I don't think it was on camera, but
okay.
So our producer just sent it to us.
Well, I just looked at it, but I
yeah,
can't.
it's hard to see, but you know, when Damiani, I mean, he made a couple brief statements where he said he doesn't know her, and you know, he wasn't a part of what took place. It was part of his security team.
That's the smack right there.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a smack
there. There's a hand that comes out.
There's a little bit of a smack going
He's
on
that
there.
young, he doesn't know Britney Spears, or he didn't know her personally.
God, that makes me feel so old,
it made
right?
me feel when you just said that.
Listen, Britney Spears is not.
We are old, gentlemen.
Britney is not the most credible person in the world. She's had many public freakouts in the past. She has a wacky family, by the way. What do you call it? A conservatorship, or she's out of now?
Conservatorship.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a wacky family to begin with.
She hasn't really behaved herself since she's often.
Well, listen, when you marry Kevin Federline, there's obviously something has to be very wrong with you. But in all seriousness, it just seems like everything happens here in Las Vegas. It's crazy.
That is wild. Do you know where that was at?
Catch at the Aria.
Catch at the Aria, yeah.
That's interesting. We're actually going out to eat there tonight.
Are you really?
Catch?
With your family?
No, myself and my guy Kyle here.
Oh,
from,
okay, cool.
I guess that's the NBA hangout.
Great restaurant.
Yeah, it's a good
Good
spot.
food, right?
I saw Rudy Gobert there last year when I was eating.
And I'm going to an event on Sunday, not to brag or anything, but the guys that are going to be at this event at Westgate, it's like a invite event. Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade,
who's that?
DeAndre Jordan,
never heard of him.
Russell Wilson, just to name a few.
Wow.
And they're all going to be they're promoting this new Player TV channel. I guess they're all investors.
Wow.
And I can't wait to talk to Dwayne Wade, man. That guy's a legend, and I love
that guy.
Wade. I've always loved Wade. Maybe I'll ask Kyrie Irving what's his message to the Jewish community in Las Vegas. Maybe I'll ask him that, yeah. Then I get kicked out.
Brian never trying to stir anything up. Never stirring anything up. Not Brian.
He will 100% ask that too.
Can I ask you this, Brian? For someone like you that covers sports around the clock for Channel 3, and you do a great job, you and Jesse, I love you guys.
Thank you.
What has the last month been like for you in covering the Las Vegas Golden Knights? I mean, this is special because have you ever covered a championship team in your career?
When I was in Boston, I was standing on the goal line when the Patriots
Oh,
won
the
Super
Patriots,
Bowl.
that's right. So
Yeah.
other than the Patriots, that had to be pretty incredible too. But
Yeah.
what has this been like to cover an NHL hockey team winning a championship?
I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, especially for a guy like me who had been covering the Golden Knights since the very, very beginning. You know what I mean? To see them go to the Stanley Cup final and then lose to Washington, and then go to Edmonton, go to Dallas, go to Florida, and just see the progress of the team and know the players from the beginning, like the Misfits. It's something that I'll never ever forget. and someone who works in sports and works in media,
right?
It's a highlight of my career. It really is. I mean,
for me as well.
Man,
I mean, one of the highlights for me is when the Phoebas were here and I saw LeBron scrimmaging against Kobe in a high school gym. I mean, I told that story yesterday. I'll never forget it. But another highlight.
That was great.
But I just was curious from your perspective, and I don't doubt what you're saying. It's been an incredible month.
Man.
When you look at going back to the NBA Summer League.
Yeah.
And when you look at what this has turned into, where every game now is on national television,
yes.
just about every legend is in town. I wanted to ask you, because for me, some of the moments that I'll always remember is I was talking to the late, great Mr. Russell for about 5 minutes. We weren't talking about basketball. We were talking about golf.
Wow.
In the parking lot with his wife.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, I run into Bill Russell, and we're just talking about golf because I know how much you like golf. Well, I'm just talking summer league.
He's done a few the last 5 minutes.
I know. Let me just put this
Russell
name.
Wilson,
let me
Dwayne
put
Wade,
Bill
Kyrie
Russell
Irving.
right here for you.
I tell my
One of the greatest. Let me just drop that right here for you.
But
Okay,
that was
continue, sir.
But that was one of my stories. You guys are busting my chops. But no, that was a highlight for me. And I'm talking NBA Summer League, meeting Magic Johnson, meeting Jerry West. No, but these are like some of the moments that you never forget. And I'm sure you have moments like this during Summer League where you've had those opportunities as well.
Absolutely. I mean, just the fact that you see those players.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm still in this video, and they've run it on ESPN a ton. LeBron James, the very first time he ever was publicly wearing Lakers gear.
Yeah.
That was at the Summer League.
Right.
And you probably remember
because I had the sideline sitting there, yeah.
I had video of it on my phone that
Yep.
ended up making it on TMZ. But the video that was on ESPN, they show LeBron in his Lakers shorts. I'm sitting right behind him. They show that video over and over and over again. I mean, there'll never be another first time that LeBron James wears Lakers gear. You know what I mean?
That was very special. No question about it. I mean, obviously watching Kevin Durant play as the number 2 pick that year, by the way, which is absurd.
Yeah. Blake Griffin was one of my favorite times.
Yep.
And actually, how about this? Having David Stern, the former commissioner, on live with me, like down on the court at Thomas and Mack.
I remember that, yeah. That's very special.
I've never even met Adam Silver.
Yeah.
I've had David Stern on live like 3 or 4 times in my career.
Yeah.
And having him at the Summer League, like him promoting it.
You know what I really love too? It's that you see, like, for the most part, every star from every team supporting their young guys and sitting there. And they all want to come to Vegas, right? You know there's not one player that's saying we don't want an NBA team in Vegas. Of course they do, right?
Of course they do.
Everybody wants an NBA team here. These guys, if you picked every sport, I mean, obviously the NFL guys love it here, and the Knights love it here. I know that, but I think if you correct me if you think I'm wrong, the one out of the 4 major sports, I think NBA players love Vegas more than anything else.
Of course they do.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Think about this. Anytime that an NBA team wins a championship, where are they seen partying? They're not seen partying in New York.
They all go to Vegas.
What about Australian guys? How do they feel about Vegas?
They just can't handle it. It's a different world. They fly 24 hours, they're jet lagged, and then they got put in this adulterous place where there's the wrong word. An adult playground.
There you go.
On jet lag with all temptations everywhere. You know, here's a funny story.
Okay.
It's not a funny story. It's a tragic story.
Uh-oh.
That's Debbie Downer.
That's a plot twist.
There was an Australian footballer. They won the Australian Football Championship.
Okay.
They went to Vegas to party. He'd never been to Vegas before.
Uh-oh.
He went too hard, and somehow he ended up stuck on the top of the Flamingo, and it was straight out of the hangover. He couldn't open the door to get back out, and he tried to jump on a palm tree and killed himself.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Man,
true
story.
I thought, where is he going to pick up this?
Yeah.
A famous Australian footballer. Wow. He got stuck on the top of the roof. Straight out of hangover. I'm not joking about this.
That's crazy.
That is very, very sad. Anyway, let's get back to basketball.
Can I just apologize for saying funny story? It wasn't
definitely
funny.
nothing funny about that.
It was how we can't handle Vegas, or some people literally can't handle Vegas.
Wow. So how about the scenery here at the Sapphire?
Don't let me talk again if I'm going to say these morbid stories. By the way, what are you doing? If you're joining us, Bryan Salmond, Channel 3 Sports. We are here at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club Topless Pool, topless being optional. It is a little bit distracting here.
Yeah, I've got my shirt off. Sorry. I've got my shirt off. Sorry, Brian.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining because I'm not. Trust me. They treat us great here. Come out and say hello. We'll be here for a little bit. Then me and Brian are going to be heading down to NBA Summer League, which is going to be It's a tough job again, but somebody's got to do it.
Man,
Thanks for all the hard work you do.
It is rough. It is rough.
What do you think the Thomas and Mack Center is going to, the vibe is going to be like tonight at 6 p.m.?
It's going to be loud. It's going to be the fact that it's sold out to me. I keep saying that, but the fact that it's sold out. Anytime you're in the Thomas and Mack and it's sold out, and you can have a bunch of kids, a lot of people screaming for Victor Wembanyama. I just want to say his name over and over because it took me like 3 hours to learn his name. Wembanyama. The atmosphere is going to be bananas, man. But think about this, though. I know you're not the biggest UFC fan, but we got a lot of your brethren here in town for the UFC.
Yeah, a lot of Australians in that card.
Yeah, a lot of Australians on that card. So we have that this weekend. The weigh-in's going on today, too. It's not like they got that big soccer match, CONCACAF or something like that's going over at Allegiant.
Vegas is buzzing.
NBA
There's so much going on.
At Mandalay Bay, NBA Con.
Yes, I went by there yesterday.
How was that?
It was pretty cool. They give us a little tour of what's going on over there. They're going to have concerts over there. 2 Chainz, one of your favorite artists.
2 Chainz. I don't mind 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz. Yeah, he'll be over there.
He's okay.
And we're forgetting all the normal stuff, like Garth Brooks is in town and stuff like that.
Is he really?
Yeah, but he did the show last night.
Yeah, Brian's going to be front row for that show.
Because of the sport and how good the Sphere looks at night right now.
I was going to say that too. That was national news.
I've never seen anything
news.
like that.
That was everywhere. It was crazy. 4th of July, that thing was crazy.
There's a lot of people like myself, sadly, that were just looking for a video of somebody smacking Britney Spears. A security guard saying, "Get the heck out of here." It wasn't even really a smack. It was kind of like, just get out of here. Security doing their job. They don't know who she is.
I think it was overblown for sure.
It was overblown, and she is mentally ill.
She sort of made it overblown. She started screaming, "This is effing America," after it happened.
Yeah, well, she's got a lot of issues, and she needs help.
Wow.
But that was an interesting situation. But yeah, tonight at the Thomas and Mack, it's going to be crazy. By the way, as we speak, they're just tipping off NBA Summer League right now.
Oh, wow.
In the Thomas and Mack Center. My friend of the show, Paul McKeskey, who played 11 years in the league, he's out there watching one of his friends as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. And, there's a lot of great games today. It's not just that 6 p.m. game. I'm interested to see a lot of different guys, including Holmgren. I want to watch him play.
Yes. You know who else is playing? Las Vegas' own Julian Strother, the kid who went to Liberty High School.
His family grew up here, yep.
He got drafted by the Denver Nuggets.
I don't know if he's going to make it or not.
Well, he's like a first-round pick, so he's got at least 3 years. You mean like make it?
I know he's a first-round pick. I hope he does because he's a really good kid.
What does make him mean, a second contract?
He's going to make the team for sure.
He's going to make the team, but I don't know if he has lasting power in the NBA. I don't know if he's a good enough shooter. He's pretty good off the dribble. He's quick. He's a great athlete.
I mean, that's his thing. His thing is supposed to be shooting. You remember that shot that he should not have took that he took when Gonzaga beat UCLA?
Yeah, the three at the end there. Yep, that was a big-time shot. He's a good kid. He's got a wonderful family, and I hope he makes it. That's another great thing about Summer League is you have so many different stories of guys that are just looking. I remember the late, great Bryce DeJean-Jones, right? Who, what's so funny, Brian? What are you laughing at?
Your stories.
Oh, it was my story.
Your stories are hilarious.
Okay, it was my story.
Hilarious. His stories are hilarious. The stories of guys on top of the flamingo are hilarious.
That was my story.
Yeah.
No, but I remember a guy like Bryce DeJean-Jones who was really worked so hard and was struggling to make it, and he finally signed that 3-year contract. Obviously, what happened to him was tragic and horrible, but there's so many stories like that where guys that are work their tail off and they finally get that contract. It's emotional for them, and it should be, and this is their chance. This is their spotlight. Don't get me wrong, everybody's going to have their eyes on Wembanyama, but there's going to be a bunch of other guys on the floor that are looking to be seen, and they know all the eyes are going to be on them. There are agents everywhere. There are agents in the European leagues, in the Asian leagues, everywhere. So just about everybody on the floor you're going to see in the NBA Summer League is going to be playing professional basketball somewhere.
And they play hard. That's one of the big things. Because one of the biggest criticisms of the NBA is that they don't play hard, the games don't matter until the fourth quarter. Every player is going to be playing extremely hard in all these games. Think about a guy like Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
He just signed like the biggest contract ever for a guy who was not drafted.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he played in the summer league. So,
Wichita State.
Yeah.
I watched him play against UNLV, and special player, but I don't think anybody thought he would be this good in the NBA.
Do you think Wemby's feeling any pressure? Because the expectations here, you hear it everywhere. He's 19 or 18 years old. He has to be feeling something, right?
Yeah, but he talked about this, the fact that what they're saying about him, they've been saying for like the last 2 or 3 years. Remember the game that he played against the Vegas team Ignite? They played at the Dollar Loan Center. I went to that game. That was earlier this year. It was on ESPN. He showed out and played very well in that game. But he's got to be feeling some kind of pressure because he knows the entire world, not even just Vegas, the world is going to be paying attention to how he makes his debut in the NBA.
I've never felt anything like this. I have people in Australia calling me and saying, are you going to watch the Summer League? And it's all because of this guy.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
You guys are big with basketball in Australia, too.
We're getting pretty good.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty good.
Andrew Gaze, baby.
You remember him?
Of course I do, man.
Way back in the 90s.
Yeah. Isn't he like the coach of your national team or something like that? Or the head
he is
of
now.
Seton Hall, man. Seton Hall. He can shoot that thing.
It's really exciting to be able to watch these younger players, and as you said, they all play very hard,
super hard,
and to see them being coached and to get a first look. I mean, I remember when I first watched Tatum play. I didn't watch a lot of him when he played for Kentucky, right?
Wow.
I didn't watch a lot, and when I watched him play in the summer league, I said, wow, this kid's going to be really special. Same thing with Booker. Adrian Griffin was really good. I thought he would have a better NBA career. He's had a good NBA career.
Who's that?
Griffin. I'm sorry, not Adrian Griffin, Blake Griffin.
Oh, wait, Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, Adrian Griffin is the former Celtic.
Yeah. Isn't he a coach now?
He's coaching, right. Anyway, they're giving out some shots. Bryan, take a shot.
I don't drink,
free.
man.
They're free. Take a shot. It's free at Sapphire. It's free.
Bring one over here.
Bring some. The drinks are flowing here.
It's not really a shot of seltzer.
I'll try one as well. Thank you so much, ladies. Cheers.
Thanks, ladies.
Are we allowed to drink live? I think we are.
I've been doing it the last 2 hours.
There we go. See what do you got here?
I took a little sip.
See, if I wasn't on my second drink, I wouldn't have told the flamingo story.
Oh, there we go.
Not bad. All right, I want to get your take before we go. We only got a couple more minutes here. Let's talk a little bit about the A's. Bryce Harper has been Vegas native, of course, has been one of the most outspoken people on this issue against it.
He has been.
I have to say, Bryan, the more and more I've thought about this, the more and more I agree with Bryce Harper.
Uh-oh.
I think that we need an expansion team. I agree with him. The A's are a really, really awful baseball team right now. The Billy Beane style is not working. It's old. They don't want to spend any money. Vegas will not tolerate that. This is not
a loser.
This is not the NFL where we have one game a week, one game every couple weeks at home. What do you make of this deal? Do you want the A's to be here?
I'm torn because, as you know, I'm from the Bay Area. I went to A's games. I was born in Oakland. I went to A's games as a kid. So them coming here means that Oakland will no longer have any professional teams in the city,
right,
which is absurd to me.
Mesmerizing.
Yes. I think this. I think if we have a stadium on the Strip, any team that really plays in that stadium on the Strip will do pretty well because they'll get visitor traffic. They'll get visitor traffic. As far as I don't think that locals will have to sustain any baseball team if they have, say, 30,000 seats there. I don't. If they win, that'll make it even better. If they don't win, then I think that people from Boston will be out here for, hey, we'll go watch the team. Kansas City, all the American League teams you can think of. Think about New Yorkers coming out here to watch their team play. I think the team will be successful for the most part, but I also feel like we don't need a Major League Baseball team. No. We don't need – I mean, the Aviators to me are great. I know I've seen you out there a ton of times. Sure. The Las Vegas ballpark, I stay on the air all the time. Beautiful Las Vegas ballpark. It's fantastic out there.
We need an NBA team, though. We need the NBA.
We need that first.
Yeah.
We need that first.
I agree, and I think that's going to happen within a couple of years. I also don't like the fact that the Raiders organization, including ownership, don't have the best of relationship with the A's ownership. I know that's not their decision. I get that, but I don't like the fact that Mark Davis has been vocal about it, that he is not a big fan of the A's organization. And
I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So, to me, that's not a good thing either. We don't need Major League Baseball here.
No, we don't need it. But to your point with the Bryce Harper deal, to me, I get what he's saying. he wants it to be Vegas-born because he's from Las Vegas, that no team will be supported like the Golden Knights are supported just simply because they're Vegas-born. I think that I don't necessarily feel that it has to be an expansion team that comes to Las Vegas because we wouldn't say that about an NBA team. We'll take whoever.
We wouldn't say that about an NBA team, but that's very different. You're going to have, 1-2 home games a week. The difference, and I agree with you, the Yankees, the Red Sox, all the teams that are going to come out here, you're going to get those fans. I agree. But the problem is you really, really need the locals to support a team. And I'm not sure there'll be a honeymoon stage the first year or two. I'm not sure the locals are going to embrace the A's, especially if they're as bad as they are right now.
I don't think that locals support a baseball team like that. Not 30. I mean, that's why I think the stadium has to be on the Strip. If the stadium weren't on the Strip, I think it would fail miserably. Yeah. But with it being on the Strip, it's going to be more of a tourist attraction to me.
So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think that would be a genius location right where the Tropicana is right now. I agree with you there.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm just saying that this is a losing product, right? This is a bad losing product right now. Billy Beane and that organization, they do not want to spend money, and I think that's a problem.
Are you saying this based on the Raiders compared to the Golden Knights, looking at both and what they've achieved and the support
the Raiders haven't achieved much of winning, but they're not horrible either.
Is that why you come up with the conclusion
Major
that we need
League,
expansion?
You're going to have temperatures plus 100 degrees, okay? Dome or not, it's going to be really hot. Some people don't want to leave their house. You're going to have a bad franchise. They're not just going to become good in a year or two. I don't buy that with this organization. They've been bad for a very, very long time. They don't spend money. So unless you have new ownership, I am not a fan of this team coming here. They're going to be a bad product. Yes, it'll be cool to see, guys like Aaron Judge come in here. Guys like that. That'll be fun. But there's so many home games in Major League Baseball. That's why it's so important. Vegas needs a winner. They support a winner. The A's are one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. That's my problem.
They are right now. I think, I don't necessarily agree with that. I just think that I just think that the fact that the A's won't be the draw. You know what I mean? Like the A's won't be the draw. The draw will be the Red Sox. The draw will be the Yankees.
Imagine Ohtani coming into Vegas. It'll be ridiculous.
The Angels, that will be the draw.
But there are still diehard Raider fans, and it's bad.
That's different. The NFL and baseball
I know it's different, but that's my point. The Raiders are always going to get those diehard Raider fans to show up, and they have. The Knights, they won right off the bat.
But you've been to games, though. How often, if you go to a Raider game, that it's 50% the other team? Or at the beginning, the Golden Knights.
It's only one game. They come here, they call it a weekend. We're talking about 4-game homestands. It's very different.
You still call it a weekend. 3 games.
The average person cannot afford to come to Vegas and just take 4 days off from work to watch their Red Sox or Yankees play. I'm sorry, I don't
know, man. The strip is making money.
I mean, I hear what you're
making money.
I hear what you're saying. I'm sorry, I was a little distracted.
Hey, I know. I don't even know what I said. What did I say? Did I say something?
I think you said you're a married man. I think that's what you just said. No, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Listen, I'm a big sports fan just like you are. No matter what professional team it is. Before I let you go, I wanted to say the Aces have lost 1 game this year.
1 game.
They are vying to be the best team in the history of the WNBA this year. And the only game they lost was in Connecticut. And then Connecticut comes out here and they just blow them to smithereens. They destroyed them. Nobody can play with this team.
No.
And they might not lose more than 3 games all year. Right?
I mean, they play tonight, as a matter of fact. They play in Dallas tonight. I think the best start ever for a WNBA team is 20-1, I want to say, and they're 16-1 right now. They've only won 9 straight.
And by the way, Becky wasn't even happy.
Becky
wasn't even happy the way they played the other day.
No, I know. Well, they were missing Kelsey Plum as well.
Right.
But
I missed her too, by the way.
Will she be an NBA coach?
Who's that? I think so. I think she goes back to back in the NBA. I thought that she was going to get hired in Toronto. I really did. I thought, because that's a place that she could make a splash. You know what I mean? She wins a couple titles here. She's got like the San Antonio backing. I absolutely think that she can. I mean, who knows? Maybe Greg Popovich retires in 2 years. You know what I mean? He's 70-something, almost 80 years old, I think. But yeah, man, the Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, I think they're going back to back. And I agree with you in the fact that I believe they could end up being one of the best teams in the history of the WNBA.
I think they could be the best if they continue to play the way they're playing right now. I don't think there's any question about that. Definitely a fun team to watch. Mr. Bryan Salmond, it is always a pleasure, sir.
And I'm so glad
you don't have to leave right away. You can stick around and have some fun for a little bit with us.
I'm not going to name drop, but I will. Kevin Hart has a birthday party over at Resorts World, which is right over here. And,
have you been invited?
I might have an invite there.
Whatever.
They have an invite
there. You just topped all his name dropping. You had to wait to the very end to do that, right? You just had to do the very end.
I'm just going to go ahead and put that right there for you.
By the way, the only other person I know that's shorter than him is my friend Mike Hammer, the magician.
Mike Hammer.
Kevin Hart's very, very short. I interviewed him. He's a boxing fan. Yes. And I interviewed him before a Mayweather fight years back, and he could not have been nicer. He's a cool guy.
He's a super cool dude.
Super nice, down to earth, very talented, very funny.
He's going to his birthday party.
I'm trying to remember the first movie that he was in.
40-Year-Old.
Yes, that's the movie I was thinking of.
His character's so funny.
He was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. He was one of the shoppers
for like 2 minutes, and his scene
was
hilarious.
Reminds me of Chris Rock in Boomerang. Like, you always have that legend who has that first scene in a big movie, and Kevin Hart's the best. Well, have fun with Kevin Hart. Tell him I said hello. Please tell him the bald Jew said hello.
Okay, I'll say it just like that, Brian.
I'm sure he'll remember me.
Tell him I say hi, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Say that to Kyrie Irving, too. I'm sure he'll remember as well. But anyway, Bryan Salmond, Channel 3 Sports, you and Jesse Merrick, the Cougar grabber. Jesse Merrick.
Yeah, man. The ladies love that guy.
Yes.
They love that guy.
You guys do a wonderful job at Channel 3. I will see you at Summer League. Will you be at the game at 6?
Yeah.
I will see you there, my friend. Always good to see my friend Bryan Salmond. He's the best.
Thank you for the invite, B.
And he's also a girl dad. #1 girl dad, by the way. Sporting the shirt.
My baby's come home from Arkansas today. I haven't seen him in a week.
Bryan has a beautiful family. A different type of beautiful. They're also beautiful, but beautiful people here as well. I'm surrounded by beautiful people. What can I say? But anyway, thanks to Bryan Salmond for joining us. Channel 3 Sports does a great job. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, my good friend, the owner of Jackson's Bar and Grill, Brian Slipbock, is going to be joining us. I say lifelong, but he's only been a Vegas Golden Knights fan for 6 years because they've only been here for 6 years.
He's got a great name, though.
Yes, he does.
That first name sounds good.
We're going to talk a little.
Love that first name.
We're going to talk a little hockey with him and maybe a little bar gaming with Mr. Bryan Slipbock as well. My thanks to Bryan Salmond for joining us. Take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You are listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP.
Hey everybody, are you struggling to find a pizza place that reminds you of Brooklyn? That true blue New York style pie? Well, worry no more. Stallone's Italian Eatery Pizza is a knockout. We're located at 467 East Silverado Ranch Boulevard, just off of Premier Road, half a mile east of South Point Casino, just minutes from the Las Vegas Strip. Come by and grab a slice of pie. Plus, check out our Brooklyn-inspired Italian cuisine. Our sandwiches are super. Hero, that is. Because why be a sub when you can be a hero? Stallone's Italian Eatery is here to serve you phenomenal food, Vegas. Forget about it.
Look, it's impossible for the average person to find a great attorney out there. There's so much misinformation. Now, let me introduce you to former Chief Deputy District Attorney Thomas Moskal. He was Las Vegas' top DUI prosecutor for years. He prosecuted the most high-profile DUI cases in Clark County. No one knows more about DUI law in Nevada. Just Google it. If you get charged with DUI, whether it's a misdemeanor or even more importantly, a felony, you need Thomas Moskal representing you. His relationships with the prosecutors and judges and his knowledge of DUI law to work for you. So give him a call now or text him at 702-848-5555. It's your life and liberty that's at stake. Don't wait. Call now. That number again, 702-848-5555.
Buying or selling a home is a huge life event that requires guidance from an expert in the industry and community. My name is Blake Wynn. You may recognize my name as my grandfather was the best governor the state of Nevada has ever had. Growing up in Las Vegas, I've come to know this community intricately. Now, I am raising a family here as well. So I understand all the issues impacting our home and quality of life. As the top realtor for the #1 real estate team at Keller Williams, you can have confidence in my experience, knowledge, and track record. When it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate, choose a name you can trust and someone who understands the community you call home. Call Blake Gwynn today and experience the difference of a trusted expert. 702-540-3311.
Sapphire Pool and Day Club, the world's only topless gentlemen's day club, introduces its 2023 pool season lineup with a bevy of beauties and social media celebrities throughout the summer who will all host alongside hundreds of Sapphire's topless poolside entertainers. Enjoy brunch in the sun with items like frittata-style omelets, stripping chicken, and French kiss toast before washing it down with signature summertime cocktails. 10 lines beware. Go Bear! Ladies are welcome to go topless within the day club for the ultimate party. Guests can purchase affordable day bed packages, cabana packages, lounge chairs, and more. The best part though? Pushing the Limits will be broadcasting shows every other Friday throughout the pool season with a ton of surprise celebrity guests. Wow! Reserve your spot now. For more info, visit SapphirePoolLV.com or call 702-869-0003. That's 702-869-0003. See you at Sapphire.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Shapiro from Pushing the Limits. I want to tell you guys about Sahara West Urgent Care and Wellness. They're conveniently located on the southwest corner of Sahara and Jones. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5
40
p.m.
seconds.
At Sahara West Urgent Care, they'll take care of all your healthcare needs. They offer routine services such as physicals, STD testing, car accident treatment, and work injuries. You name it, they do it. They have on-site x-ray, EKG, ultrasound, and labs. They treat chronic conditions such as asthma, blood pressure, diabetes, and more. They also offer general wellness exams, treatments such as testosterone enhancement, and cancer screening. They're located on Sahara, 6125 West Sahara Avenue. Their number is 702-248-0554. And the best part, they accept most major insurances and affordable cash pay prices. Office visits starting at just $95. And I'm also a client, so please give them a call, 702-248-0554. All right, welcome back, everybody. Boy, I got to tell you, man, you won't see Brian Shapiro in much of a better mood than he's in right now. I'll tell you, I'm having a great time. We all are. We're here at Sapphire Gentlemen's Club, topless pool, the only topless gentlemen's club pool in all of Las Vegas. Man, the staff here, they could not be nicer. Beautiful people, great food. We got the tater tots going here. We ordered a pizza, the chicken wings, watermelon alcoholic beverages. Right, Guy? You can't beat
everything's tremendous. I've had a couple of the watermelon margaritas, and oh my God.
So good.
I probably wouldn't have told a few stories I already have on air if I didn't have them.
Well, you know, it's just a great time here. I want to thank our sponsors. You know, Blake Gwynn with Keller Williams Group. You know, I got to tell you, Blake is one of my good friends as well.
Best in the business.
And he really is. He grew up here, and his grandfather, the former governor here. Blake's going to be joining us on the show next week, and another happily married man. All my friends are married or taken. Guy's taken. He's not married yet, but he is taken.
I love how you preface everything with that when we're here.
Well, that's why I'm doing it. It's funny. My friend Andrew, him and Jessica, his fiance, lovely fiance, run, of course, the Sahara West Urgent and Primary Care Facility, which is located on Sahara and Jones. And, you know, they've been a big supporters of this show, and I can't thank them enough. In fact, I'm going with Andrew to NBA Summer League right after the show today. And the guy sitting with us is certainly no exception to that. He's a great friend. Him and his another married man. It's unbelievable. Him and his wife, Robin, are wonderful people. I frequent Jackson's Bar and Grill.
You're always
like
there.
Multiple times a week.
Because
right?
it's one of your favorite places
I
in Vegas.
love it. It's my favorite, as I say, it's true. It's my favorite gaming bar in Las Vegas.
You always seem to win there as well.
I wouldn't say always, Guy. But I wouldn't want to put false advertising out there. but I have one there from time to time.
I've heard you in there, and I heard they have the best. Is it fettuccine Alfredo?
Oh, it's so
that
good.
we talk about? Yeah.
It's so good. And the owner of Jackson's Bar and Grill joining us, of course, another Bryan. It's the Bryan Show today. Bryan Sliplock joining us on the show. Bryan, I'm sorry I had to drag you out here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I haven't noticed anything different out here.
Yeah, nothing different. It's just like the KSHP studios, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How are things going over there at the bar, by the way?
Things are doing well. Can't complain. We've been busy, taking care of people, paying out jackpots, serving people food. So it's been a good summer so far.
What's the biggest jackpot you've had to pay out over there?
Well, my largest jackpot, I'll tell you, and we're going back 10, 12, 14 years. Guy comes in, he sits down at a machine, he hits for 20 grand.
Whoa.
We call the company to come out and pay him. He moves over one machine, and 15 minutes later on the next machine, he hit 20 grand on 2 machines in a row within 15 minutes.
And you've never seen 20 grand hit once?
Not till that point. Since then, we've had
and it hit so baback to back.
Back to back on 2 different machines. But we've had him hit.
Unbelievable.
Did he give it all back?
Oh, he was probably still down at that point anyway. Yeah, at that point,
man.
so.
That is why does that not surprise me at all? I wanted to ask you because you're, a huge Vegas Golden Knights fan. You're a season ticket holder. I've been with you to some games.
Yes.
Even though I'm a distinguished, respected member of the media. The respected part probably is not true. But what has this month been like for you to watch this ride of your favorite team, the Vegas Golden Knights, winning a Stanley Cup? Because you were there for the final game.
I was. Well, I'll tell you, growing up, I was in L.A., so I was a Kings fan my whole life. And I've gone 40-some years watching bad Kings hockey till they finally won in 2012. So to sit here, and then they won again in 2014. So to sit here in 6 years, not only year 1, but year 6 and everything in between, just to see how they've done and to bring it here has been a fantastic ride for me. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but overall at the end of the year, an individual game doesn't matter, and the overall thing won. So it's been fantastic.
It has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait till next year. I wish the NHL season started again tomorrow. It's really been a phenomenal ride. It's amazing because you've lived in Vegas for how many years?
I've been here 33 years.
You've been here longer than I have. I've only been here 20. You've been here 33 years.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just sorry, I was a little distracted there. Let's just review with what is going on in this city just now, right? We got the NBA Summer League.
Mm-hmm.
We got the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, who's expected to make an announcement this weekend about a mid-season Final Four NBA regular season tournament,
right,
which is going to be in the NBA. As Bryan Salmond just mentioned, we got the UFC this weekend, right? We've got NBA Con here. We've got arguably the best country singer in the history of country music performing here this weekend, even though I'm not a big country fan.
You see, exactly. Garth Brooks is in town and nobody knows.
Yeah. Garth Brooks is here.
I know Garth Brooks.
Yes.
I couldn't tell you who arguably the best country
probably
singer.
George Strait, but he's up there.
There's so much stuff going on here. Of course, Aviator Baseball, AAA Baseball. The Las Vegas Aces are back home on Sunday, who are making their run to be arguably the best WNBA team in the history of the league.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many things going on. Formula One coming around the corner. Of course, we've got the A's talk, the NBA talk of bringing a team here. This is going to be, in 10 years, my prediction, one of the top 3 sports cities in the country. In 10 years. We're going to have the NBA. We're going to have all the major teams. But you look up what the Knights have already accomplished. Let's hope the Raiders can get there. They're not there yet, but I don't know. They don't really have a quarterback right now, but we'll see about that. But yeah, in 34 years you've been here, did you ever think we'd be at the point we're in right now?
No, because when I first got here, I was in college, and I think my second year here was the year that UNLV won the national championship. And I thought at that point that would be the greatest that we're ever going to be in this city, right? Winning national championships for the NCAA. So to be where we are today, it makes it great. Now, I wish we didn't have to give all this money to the people, like the A's. I wish they, like the Knights, right? They paid cash for the stadium. They can do anything that they want to do.
Goodbye, Bryan Salmond. I can't believe he's leaving early, but nice to meet you, my friend.
Have a great time, man.
Yeah, the voice of the Kings, by the way. Bryan Salmond brought with him, by the way. So anyway,
was that?
Yeah. I know you're a Kings fan for a while. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's amazing how far we've come along. I just wish we didn't have to give all the money.
Yeah, that's also true. We've talked a little bit about the A's with Bryan Salmond, and I'm not big on bringing the A's here, mainly because they're just terrible, and the organization's not willing to spend money. One thing I will say about Mark Davis is the guy's not afraid to write checks. You can make criticisms about the decision-making and the people that he hires, but Mark Davis is not afraid to write a check, and that's one thing I do appreciate about him. The A's organization as a whole, they just don't pay people. And that's a big concern if they're going to come into Vegas. Vegas is going to want a winning team, and we're a little spoiled with what the Vegas Golden Knights have been able to do right from year one. I mean, that ride was unbelievable. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the A's, as I've said earlier. I don't know what's going to happen. I tend to think it probably will happen after Lombardo just voted, put it in, and I just think I want an NBA team here first.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Happen in general or happen first?
Yeah, I think the A's are still going to show up before an NBA team. The thing, like you were talking about with Mark Davis, you might not like his decision-making, but he's always trying to attempt to make his team better. The A's, we have a track record. They will never make their team better. Right. They will take their best players. They will ship them off and keep it as just a bad team. So I can see no reason why they would come here and then all of a sudden change their philosophy of how they're going to be as a baseball.
They might have to, right? Or it's just not going to work.
I don't think it's going to work long term.
Change.
It might work short term just because of the honeymoon stage. But 2-3 years into the organization, if they're continuing to do what they're doing, no, I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all. So we'll have to wait and see what transpires here. But I do agree with Brian that I do think Major League Baseball comes here before the NBA. If you asked me a question 10 years ago, I would have said the NBA is going to be the first professional franchise we're going to get. Boy, was I wrong. First the NHL and the NFL. I thought the NFL was going to be the last team we were going to get.
Yeah. You're not even close.
And now here we are. So, it really is surprising where we're at right now, to say the least. That is for sure. I wanted to ask you, in your profession, in owning a gaming bar, this is becoming more and more popular, however, more and more difficult to get a gaming license. People think you could just get a gaming license with the snap of a finger. It is difficult, right, to get a gaming license.
When I did it, and this was 20 years ago, it was a 9-month waiting process after you turned in all the paperwork. I can't imagine what it is now between all these casinos opening and changing and buying each other out. They all have to go through the same process. So, yeah, it's a long, long process. You sit and you wait, and then you hope each month that they're going to call you up. Not to mention that they're running out of spaces to put bars that aren't within feet requirements of other bars and churches and different things like that. So
what are the rules on that? So a bar can't be within a certain amount of feet from, I never knew that, from like a religious facility?
Yeah, 1,500 feet from that.
Same thing with strip clubs, I would imagine, too, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either.
I don't know.
It would make sense, yeah.
I mean, I drove down the street to get here, and there was
but
like
doesn't it make sense, like after you would go to synagogue or church, you would want a quick drink?
I'm not a religious guy. I'm not a religious guy, but let me just tell you.
What do we got here? We got some shots here going. Oh, I got to grab one of those. Absolutely. A culotta. Is this from Dunkin' Donuts?
I don't say no to much.
Yeah. Culotta, everybody. See, this is why I love this place. They just pass out drinks here. Beautiful women everywhere. I know it's torture, but somebody has to do it. You don't want a culotta?
No. Thank you.
That's actually delicious. That's really good. I like it. Very good. Thank you so much.
Top notch. Thank you.
Yes, that was go ahead. Feel free to take a picture. You can take pictures of us, but you can't take pictures of topless women, which makes sense to me anyway. But anyway, thank you. Anyway, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
You can't be culottes, and now what do we do?
You can't be within 1,500 feet of another tavern. You can't be 1,500 feet within a.
Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, I am not a very religious person. I'm also not an atheist. I can tell you the times my family made me go, I wanted a drink right afterwards, and I was like 12 years old, and I wanted a drink. Okay?
That was miserable.
I hate it. Yes. If you're religious and you want to go to church or synagogue or whatever, a mosque, go for it. That's your prerogative. I hate it. I would rather bang my head against a wall. I don't like it. But then again, I'm not a very religious person. But I would think that you would want a bar right near there afterwards. But I don't know. That's just
it's funny because
what the hell do I know?
I always hear these stories about people that go to church and then they go after to a local restaurant and then they're all rude and mean to the servers and taking up the whole place, letting their kids run around. So just starting off with not the best reputation after church.
That's true.
I don't know why I'm even getting into this.
Well, I'll say this. You won't see me at a synagogue or a church this weekend. I can promise you that.
It's definitely the church people's fault.
No, I was dating a girl. I know that's hard for people to believe, but at one point I was dating a girl, and it was like maybe 10 years ago. And she wanted to go with me to church on a Saturday afternoon. Really nice girl. We still talk. We're still friends. And I went, and I regretted it. The priest was talking and did his little speech, and then he used the term queer.
He used that word?
Talking about gay people. So at this point, I knew it wasn't probably going to work out with this girl anyway, because I don't really get along with very religious people. I mean, I respect them, but to date, not really my thing. So I say to the priest afterwards, I shook his hand. I said, I just want you to know how despicable I think you are with the statements you made about those in the LGBTQ community. I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. There are kids here, and you are despicable. And you want to talk about gay people going to hell? No. You're the one that's going to hell for judging other people, and you can go F yourself. I actually said that to him.
Wow.
So the girl I was with was like a deer in headlights. The priest was like, didn't know what to say, and he didn't say anything. And she said, oh, my God, I can't believe you said that to him. And I looked, I said, was I wrong? Tell me I was wrong. Maybe not. Maybe you weren't wrong, but I can't believe you said that. That being said, I never went back to that church.
I got a question quickly.
Some more drinks?
Yeah.
Good. We're live on the air. What do we got here? What do we got? You're giving out Bud Light bottles. Well, that's very nice. Well, you could drop one off. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's very nice of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Bud Light's trying to reinvent their image.
It's unbelievable. They're giving out free beer here. Thank you very much.
I never thought of that.
Free beer. that is very funny, by the way. What is his name? Mulvaney, right? Free beer. Look at that.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
I had a friend that only went to church because the girl he was trying to date, he could only find her or see her. This was before cell phones at that church. Morally appropriate or not?
Say that one more time.
I had a friend that only went to church when he was young because a girl he liked was at the same church every Sunday. It was the only reason he went.
No problem.
I mean, he's not
Good for
breaking.
him.
He's not breaking any laws. I think that's a better reason than some other reasons people go to church. So, that's just me. I don't have a problem with it.
Can I tell you something I found out about this Bud Light?
What's that?
I thought they released with the person's face on it all around America.
No.
It was given just to that person.
Correct.
It was made just for that person.
Yes.
And it still caused this.
I know.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. Do you serve Bud Light?
I did know that, and yes, we do serve Bud Light.
I want to know if you cancel cultured it.
It got cancel culture because they just made one can for one particular person. It never went out to market.
No.
Interesting. I never knew that.
We still sell the same amount of Bud Light and Budweiser, all the products.
So the sales have not gone down.
I know a lot of places that friends of mine who have bars that did pull Bud Light.
Which is absurd, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't.
Do you still shop at Target?
Yeah, I mean, if I have to. I mean, just shop in general.
So you're not one of those people that pickets outside of Target with your wife screaming at people to not shop at Target?
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, that's all.
No.
What kind of promotions you got going on over there at Jackson's this month?
What do we got? We got great ones. I got to think what they are, though. We're doing affordable.
Mark Levin's going to be there?
We got Fort of the Royal, right? Mondays and Wednesdays you get Fort of the Royal. We still make you a winner, give you a free wheel spin on that. We're doing our famous prime rib. We used to do it every Monday pre-COVID.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back this time, one time a year now for everybody. That's next Friday, a week from today, the 14th. We have our wheel spins. We have our Lotta Bucks drawings. We have all kinds of other stuff.
Be honest, has Chris Wynn ever won there at your barn?
Chris Wynn has never won there.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
He can't win there. He can't win anywhere, can he?
There are just some people where they just have no chance to win.
Why hasn't he changed his name from Chris Wynn to Chris Lose?
It's a very good question. His name should be Chris Lose.
Right.
You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, I just said it's not Wynn.
very valid point you make, Mr. Slepok. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I mean it when I say, I was going to Jackson's way before I even met Brian.
Yeah.
I was going there with friends. I absolutely love it. It's certainly my favorite bar in town. Please check them out, Jackson's Bar and Grill, which is located at Flamingo and Jones. I absolutely love it. You know what other place I absolutely love? Sapphire Gentlemen's Club, adult pool, topless pool. This has been a lot of fun, as it is every other week. And Brian, I know you will be back here.
I'll be back.
Guy, you're married, you have a girlfriend. What are you guys doing this week? Anything fun?
I'm right here. I might stay here. I'll be here to close.
I'm just doing what I'm told.
You just do what you're told.
Yeah, you know me, Brian.
I know.
Brian,
this guy, I'm on a leash too.
This guy calls me and he goes, "Hey, let's go for dinner next week." And I go, "Hey, you set that up with my wife. I just do what she tells me to do."
He does that to me too, but then he starts messaging my wife.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Brian, thank you so much for being here. My thanks to Bryan Salmond, of course, and Rhonda Kennedy for being here as well. Joe, the engineer. We will see you all back in the KSHP studios on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.